All right, so I think the last video cut off a little bit short, but you should have had the graph created. Here's the domain and range. So if there's something that you didn't see off of like number 5 that you need to see, just ask. Okay, but I think it got all of the graph in there. Just double check. Okay, so if there's an issue, if you're like, hey, I don't know how you got something, just ask. We got it. Okay, so let's go do number 7. And number 7 is graphing of quadratics. So the first thing, as you can see, that I've identified is I've identified the a value is 2, positive 2. A is in front of the x squared. B is in front of the x. What's in front of the x? A negative 8. And C is the 6 right here by itself. Okay. It's not that the fact that they go in order, it's that A is in front of the x squared. So if the x squared's in the back, it's still the number that's in front of the x squared, no matter where x squared is located. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to find the axis of symmetry, which is negative b over 2a. So negative blank over 2 blank. Okay, what is the value of b? The value of b is negative 8, and the value of a is a positive 2. Now, this is what you got to make sure. Please, 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 please. This is what I need you to double check. Make sure you understand that it's negative b over 2a, so negative, put a set of parentheses over 2 parentheses, because kids will overthink this. They're like, oh, negative, and then this is negative 8, and just put all the stuff in first before you start thinking about negatives, because it's very easy to lose a sign. If you watch the last video, you see I lost a sign just by graphing. So don't be old and stubborn like me. Double check what you're doing, write everything down, and then clean it up. So x equals 2 negatives, make the 8 on top positive. 2 times 2 is 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So this is your axis of symmetry. So what could you do? This is what I do. At x equals 2, I go put in that dashed line because I know that's where that graph is going to live. It's going to live at 2. Okay? In the middle of my table, what do? I put the number 2 in there because this graph, I know it lives on this line now. I just need to know how high or low on that line it lives. That's the most important. Axis of symmetry. Okay? 2. Put them in order. 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you count? Hopefully 2, 1, 0, negative 1. If you've done this long enough, you know that these should match. You know that these should match. You know that these should match. Their y values should be the same. How do you know they should be the same? They're a y value for a quadratic. What is a quadratic? A quadratic is a U shape. How do you know it's a U shape? Because it has this right here. This is your Blue's Clues. This tells you if it has an exponent of 2, which we see right here, exponent of 2. Since it has an exponent of 2, that tells us this graph's shape right off the bat. If you don't believe me, go to desmos.com and you can graph it. It'll show you. And then what do we need to do? Take these, plug them in for x. I'm going to grab a Post-it because I don't got enough spots to show that. Okay. So if we have f of x equals 2x squared minus 8x plus 6, wherever the x is, you're going to take the x out, and in for x, you're going to put a set of parentheses. And what we are going to do is we're going to replace it with these numbers in our table. Okay. Do you want to do the vertex first? Why did I put that 2 in green? Because this is the middle dot. This is called the vertex. So in for x, we can put 2. Now all I need you to do is I need you to follow your order of operations. So f of 2 is going to be equal to 2 squared is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Minus 8 times 2 is 16 plus 6. So what is 8 minus 16 plus 6? It turns out to be, all of this, if you type this in, comes out to be negative 2. So if you put negative, or if you put 2 in, you get negative 2 back. Can you graph that dot? Go to the right 2 and down 2. Look, it's on our line. That's where we said it's supposed to be on our line. Now, do we know which way the U shape goes? I do, because A is what kind of 2 out here? A is a positive number. When it's positive, the U shape should go up. So I know all of these things are in this table, but let's make our life easier. I only really need 3 dots for a U shape. So let's go back and take the function f of x equals 2x squared minus 8x plus 6. Wherever x is, take it out. And what's the next number you're going to put in? You put in whatever number you want, but you know these two numbers on both sides of it, the shoulders, 1 and 3, they should give you the same y value back. So what's the easier number for you to work with? Do you want to work with 3 or do you want to work with 1? It doesn't matter. They'll be the same. I'll put 3 just because 3. I don't know why I picked 3, just to be honest with you. Thought I was going to say something all smart, didn't you? I just picked 3. You could have picked 1. Are you wrong if you pick 1? No, but you're not wrong at all. Okay, order of operations. Do this first. Don't tell me this is 6 and then square that. Square it first, then multiply. 3 squared is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. Minus 8 times 3 is 24. Plus 6. Now, f of 3, remember all this stuff over here means, this just means when you take the function, you put 3 in, what do you get back? 18 minus 24 plus 6, all equals 0. So this is your x value, this is your y value, so when I put 3 in, I got 0 back, so it should match the other side, so it should be right here. Do I need to fill in the rest of that table? I don't think you do. Your friends in another Algebra 2 class may have to. 1, 2, 3, but I don't. Go to the right one and don't go up or down any. Do you see your U shape now? Do you see it? I've got my U shape. Do I need more? If you want, make more dots. But for a line, I need 2 dots. For a U or a V shape, I have to have 3. It's impossible to get a U or a V shape without 3. There it is. Domain. You should be getting used to this. Highlight the left and right side for domain. So the left side has an arrow, so it goes forever, so that's negative infinity. The right side has an arrow, so it goes forever, so that's positive infinity. There's your domain. Or what can you say if it's always negative infinity, positive? You can say x is every real number. X, E, funny looking R. 2 ways of saying the same thing. How do we find range? Range is the bottom of the graph and the top. What is that number on the bottom? 1, 2. That's negative 2. So this graph starts at negative 2, comma. What is the top doing? Oh, there's arrows. The top keeps going up. It doesn't stop. So you're going to say infinity. That's infinity. That's not, I make sure I look at that. That says infinity. Parentheses. There it goes. There's your range. Y. Here's another way to say it. Y starts at negative 2 and the graph is above it, so we say greater than or equal to 2. You don't need both of these things. You need one or the other. I just need you to understand which way do you like better. Which version? Do you like this version better? Take it. If you like this version, take it. But you don't need both. You need one or the other. Okay, number 9. Last one. Okay, as you guys get better, you use your Blue's Clues. I already know, kids instantly looking at this. I know my A value is negative 1/2. So if A is negative, what does that tell us about the graph? It's upside down. B is the number in front of the X. What's the number there if you need it? It's a 1. What kind of 1 is it? It's negative 1. C, do we see a C value anywhere? I don't, so I'm going to call it 0. So how do we find the axis of symmetry? What you guys are going to do is to find the axis of symmetry. You're going to go x equals negative b over 2a. So x equals negative blank over 2 times blank. You're going to fill in those blanks. What are you going to fill them in with? Well, what is b's value? B's value is negative 1. What is a's value? A's value is negative 1/2. Oh my gosh, Tasha, there's a fraction. You're all right. You're smart. I know you can handle it. On the top, x equals 2 negatives. Make this a positive. So on the top, you're going to get positive 1. On the bottom, a positive times a negative is a negative. So we're going to have a negative on the bottom. Kids, don't overthink this. This says a half and 2. What is half of 2? What is half of 2? What is half of 2? Half of 2 is 1. What's 1 divided by 1? It's also 1. A positive divided by negative is negative. So this is where your axis of symmetry is. So at -1, it's right there. -1 goes in the middle of your table because this is what? This is the dot, so we call this the vertex. The vertex is on the axis of symmetry. It's on the line. The vertex is on the line. It's on which line? This line right here. This tells us where the graph is. It's somewhere over here. Is it up though, or is it down? I know it's already flipped over, but just how high or low on this line is that graph? You need to figure that out. I'm going to grab a Post-it. I use a lot of Post-its as I do this. If you don't like something, pause it, look at it. If you still don't like something, log into the Google Meet and ask me, email me, something. Get a hold. Make sure you're asking questions. If you're not asking questions, it's going to be hard. Math is hard already. So you've got videos, but if you're still confused, log in and ask me. Okay, what's the x value? F of x equals -1/2 x squared minus 1x. What's the x value using? Oh, wait, I got to put my numbers in. Order them however you want to order them. -1, -2, -3, -4, 0.